when I was going through Rushwood, he said, I don't want, I said, do you want just some, you know, a dance program that will choreograph your operas? But he said, no, it will be lovely if you do, but I want the best dance program in the Southeast. And he said, anytime the best in the country, you know. And he put his money where his mouth was. He said, you can start with 2 more positions. And that was like, you know, the golden egg. And he was such a wonderful mentor, and I don't use that word. I mean, it's a very fashionable word, but I don't use it very often. But he really mentored me in terms of dealing with administrative. I look back and I really have very ignorant I was. You know, I went to the vice president and they sent me up there when they knew we were going to make the switch, and he said, now, Nancy, we will give you this capital outlay budget and we will give you this OPS budget. I said, what is OPS? And he just sort of looked like I've made a very bad mistake. But I didn't know about that. And you know, you had to learn those things. And so we started off with then 4 members. And then there was a period of sometime when we had 5 members. All of this, I'm not going to go into the detail of all that history, but it's to say that we were initiating a program. We weren't moving into one that was established. This is not to say because we walked 12 miles through the snow to get to school, you have to do that. There are programs that are small. There are programs that are like this one, and Ohio State, and others that are large. Each one has its own different staff. I assume, and then there are programs that are very small that you would be starting, but they are fewer and fewer. I mean, we're quite a few generations now from where there is the one woman, and it was a woman then, you know, one woman dance department. But we were not, we were still called a dance program. And sometime, I think it was in the 70s, they said, we'll make it legal and make it a real dance department, which meant just changing the name of the Board of Regents or something. It wasn't.
Just, was it really just?
No, it wasn't just. But I mean, they didn't say, yeah, and here's you know, $50,000 to go with it or anything like that. But, so from then on, it began to grow and grow and grow. And it didn't just begin like every year you got a new position. I mean, we went out like 10 years one time without getting a new position. Because budget's always been tight. It's a terrible budget situation right now, but we've had them before. And Russell said to me one time, he said, you said it would always recycle. And I'm trying to remind him of that, but it hadn't recycled this one yet. But you have these budget crises. The thing that is different is that you deal with them and fight for your program from a basis of much strength now. I mean, there was one time, there's not a life lesson tucked into this sermonette, but there was one time when I really thought they were having a terrible budget crisis, and they were, the word on the street was that they were going to do away with small programs. We at that time, I think, had 6 faculty members, very small. And so I just went into a great period of angst, you know, and I would not show it around here, but I would go home and just think what's going to happen. And then this is the whole life lesson because it taught me so much. I just remember thinking one time, you know, what I am doing right now, I am thinking that if the dance program is destroyed or leaves or phased out, there's nothing left of Nancy Smith. I was Smith then. And I thought that is a dreadful thing to be feeling because that means you confuse yourself with the program. This is important to know, really. You are thinking of yourself with the program. That's not good for you, and it's not good for the program. And that helped and informed me a lot in the building of it, because as it grew, you began to learn how to delegate things to other people, and it was not your baby. You may have been fortunate enough to initiate it and to help it and nurture it. But that business of thinking of it as your department, of your faculty, even I think of your company, or whatever your project is in dance, is dangerous. It's dangerous for your own health, but it's dangerous for the department. And I used to, I had a couple of faculty members who would talk to me about this issue, and I would say, you know, if I should drop dead tomorrow, what I would really like you all to do is scream and holler for about 48 hours, you know, have the best day you know. Muffled drums. but, and then go right back to working on the department, because if a program fades when you fade, then you've just built a monument to yourself. You have not built a program that will live on, and I think that that is really, really important. It's something you learn en route all the way, because every year brings another change that you have to adjust to. And I don't think of it so much as giving up, it's rather just sort of changing your hat and moving through another door now. Because when you do stop doing something and someone else is doing it, usually there's another door to go through and do it. And all this sounds very Pollyanna, but I found I learned it the hard way, really, and I really do believe in it. So one of the things, and the material in this book that Dora McCumpis brought deals with faculty, but I really think most of the things in it deal with a lot of things about the development of the program, because I think administration, there's a big difference between administration and management. Now, administration has a lot of management you have to do, right? And you have to find resources, work with resources, work with people, work with program design. But administration is all of that plus the vision of the mission of what you have. And I would say that the first thing one needs to start working on is what is that vision and what is that mission. And the second thing is to know that it's evolving always. That if you get it fixed, that's sort of the way to atrophy, you know. That it keeps on changing. And I thought of it ultimately as, this was also a great sort of relief to me, as a great design project. Designing how you're going to staff and select faculty, very different than, you know, I could do it all myself, you know. Now we have search committees. we have them too during my administration, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, you would just sort of do it, making it up as you go along and doing it all pretty much by yourself. So you have to know when there needs to be a different kind of structure for that. And the people you're working with are your resources as much as the money. And they have to be involved in that. So I thought of it as design, and you think of that when you are staffing a faculty, but you think of it when you're developing the curriculum. Because I think we had technique courses, and so we had a rhythmic analysis course, and then I wanted more composition. There was one time when I was teaching everything, and needless to say, it was not a kind of superior expertise. but you had to, and you can't always wait for the right time. I mean, I should have it. Part of me kept on saying, no, you need to wait till you really get a specialist in dance history before you offer those courses. And I was a generalist. But I had to start the courses. And then that began to beg for the need for specialists, and I could argue hard more and say, these courses are full, every semester is full. And we just added, and then it has to be, I could have this course, and I would probably get 50 people every semester in that. And it's not really the right thing for the mission of the program. So they're hard decisions to make, but they're design decisions. Yes.
Sorry, so you created basically the demand for faculty by bringing the classes to the students?
You're doing both of them
Okay.
at the same time frequently. But this is why it's always a juggling act. Sometimes you're doing it that way, and sometimes you're doing it the exact reverse. You get this person who attracts these students. There's a whole thing in the essay, because we were in the arts all over campus. I remember having a lot of discussion with people in theater and people in music about whether you have a chance to get the big name, but the big name can't teach. Well, I mean, it's not the best teacher in the world, but if you get the big name just to get the window dressing, you know. And those are hardest hit. I don't think we ever made that mistake, but we probably didn't make it because we saw other people making it and learned from that. This group of the 6 or 7 departments around, we met every year, sometimes twice a year. That was one of the most helpful things. This is what has become CODA now. It's a much bigger organization. But we would sit around 2 or 3 days in very structured meetings, but very informal settings. And you could track somebody's thoughts for those 2 or 3 days. And we all had a lot of the same problems, but very different versions of them. And I was thinking, you know, I know what Alma's trying to do at UCLA. That wouldn't really work for what we're dealing with right now in Tallahassee, but a version of it might. And we were very candid with each other, and we shared our mistakes, and that was so helpful. So you get help from a lot of people. Should I shut up now and let?
Never, never. I passed them out, I in particular.
Maybe we'll get some questions.
Oh, sure. A lot of people ask about what you've just talked about, so it was good that several people asked about challenging moments during that time. Were there some of your largest obstacles, is one language, another is, what were some of those?
During those early times.
We're during all of them.
Yeah, but
What were some of your largest obstacles you faced as the chair of FSU Dance?
Okay. Okay.
If you look at that, was there a?
Well, since they were daily, it's hard.
Budget, you were come
Well,
back
budget is
around.
one, but I will tell you, when I go home and, I was not the kind of person, and I do not suggest that you follow my example on this, who could go home and leave the work at home. I mean, some people can do this. One of the best leaders I know could do this. He could just go home at night, and that was it. It doesn't mean that he would not have things he had to think on, but he wouldn't go and, pound the pillow at night and so forth. Not blah. I couldn't, it was either, I just don't think I had the strength of character to do that. I would worry about things at night. But the budget things, that's a different kind of word than the people problems. People are some of your greatest and richest and most wonderful resources. They can also make you crazy, And I can remember, and I think this was about the last week when I was chair, we had a meeting, and I told the faculty, I said, I don't think there's one week in all of these many, many years that I didn't think at least one of you was certifiable. I know that you thought that about me. But people probably are different because they are. That's true if you're working in a piece of choreography. It's the people issues that get you. But you see, you can't have it both ways because it's the same volatility and the same ego strength that you love and that you want in them. But I'd say that some of those were some of my biggest challenges. And that thing, there's a lot about ego in this essay, and I still believe most of those things because I think that the ego gets a bad rap. It's a form of energy. It is a form of power. Power in a good sense. As we talk about people being control freaks and power freaks. That's power in a not so good sense. But we also talk about being empowered. That's a good energy. But it's like any kind of energy. It's like the atom bomb is my favorite example because it can heal or it can kill. So it's the way of balancing that. Now, if you want a faculty where everybody agrees, it will be, as I mentioned, comfy, but probably pretty dull. And what you want are the energies that made the person want to get into art making to begin with. So you have to make it possible for them to make their art. One of the things, this is a challenge, I'm not sure it was the biggest one, but it was a recurrent one for a long time. It may still be, I don't know, because I haven't chaired it in 15 years now. So, but